Okay, we started this morning the explanation of the 13 principles of deduction, of learning principles of the Torah from the language of the Torah, and it's on page 41 if you want to take a look. We started off Rabbi Shmuel Omer. Rabbi Shmuel says, "B'shloshes midos haTorah nidreshes." The Torah is interpreted by means of 13 rules. The first is Kal v'chomer. The translation here is that the inference is drawn from a minor premise to a major one, or from a major premise to a minor one. And we gave the example this morning that if a law applies in a particular case, which is so-called a lighter case, so then it will apply also in the so-called heavier case, the heavier instance. Again, just as an example, if a person who is 100 pounds can lift something which weighs 10 pounds, so a person who's 200 pounds can certainly lift something that weighs 10 pounds. The second one is Migzera Shava. Translation here for the Gzera Shava. From the similarity of words or phrases occurring in two passages, it is inferred that which is expressed in the one applies also to the other. Now let's just say it in English. And that is, one of the very famous Gzera Shava that we have mentioned here is really a double one. How do you know that 10 people are required for a minyan? Because it says in the Torah, "V'nikdashti b'soch b'nei Yisrael." I will be sanctified b'soch in the midst of the Jewish people. And it likewise says, at the time of Korach, "Hibadlu mitoch hoedah hara hazos." Separate yourself from this evil, I'm going to use the word congregation. And also it says, the Meraglim, when it came to the spies, it says there, Ad masai la'eda hara hazos. How long will it be for this evil congregation? So we have in the first sentence where it says, I will become sanctified, that is, things which require what is called a kedusha. If we'll just take the simplest example, Kedusha or Kaddish or public reading of the Torah is called this Kedusha, this aspect of Kedusha, and the Torah says Toch over there. The Torah also says the Toch in regard to Korach, but there it also calls them an Ada, a congregation. And we have another place where the Torah tells us about a congregation, that is, the spies, when they came back with the negative report about Israel, they're called there an Ada, a congregation also. So it is a two-step Gzera Shava here. That is, that when I have a Davar Kedusha, something which is a holy thing, it is supposed to be Toch. Where, and what is the definition of Toch? I found another place where it says Toch in regard to Korah. And there it also says Ada. And a definition of Ada is what? Is 10 from the Meraglim, from the spies. So 10 to 10, Toch to Toch, and therefore I require 10. So you're going to tell me this is a very long stretch of everything, going from one way to another. You're even going to tell me, I could have learned 10 for a minyan from a few other places, like we mentioned Sunday morning, and that is when Abraham was praying for the cities, that he said 10, and less than 10 he didn't ask for, because that's a group. Tomorrow we'll give an answer as to why that one is chosen. However, just to stay with here, that is, the principle is, I find a word used in one place, I find the word used in another place, I know what it means in one place, and therefore I apply it to the other instance. That is a Gzera Shava. Shava is its equal. Gzera, the words of the Torah, it is set that way. But there's only one thing, and that is I can't make up a Gzera Shava on my own. I can't say it says the word here and it says the word here, and therefore I'm going to use those two to tell me whatever I happen to want at the particular time. But it is part of the Masorah, part of the tradition as to that there is a Gzera Shava. That is, the Masorah tells us that these two words are to be learned one from another. Which two? For that there may be an argument in the Gemara, which two. But the Masorah is that there's a Gzeira Shava from these words, and that I therefore learn the principle of one from the other. And at the end of the Shlosha Esrei Midos, what do we say? And after V'chein Shnei Ksuim, that's the 13th principle. Okay, so what we do is that we end with a sort of medrash at the end to be able to say Kaddish Rabbanan afterwards. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Omer Rotz Kodesh Baruch Hu L'Zakos Es Yisrael V'Kol People Em Ter Mitzvah Shnei Amar Adonai Chafetz L'Man Tzidko Yagdil Torah V'Yadir.